Hello everyone, Merry Christmas to you. My name is Helena and I'm from Salt Church on the Costa Blanca in Spain. And I want to bring a word of encouragement to you this morning for a few minutes. There has been a sentence from the Bible that's been going around in my head for quite a few days now. And it's a phrase that the Apostle Paul has been using whilst he has been imprisoned for preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. And there's a sentence where he says, "As a prisoner for the Lord then, I urge you," or "I encourage you." Now, since early this year, we have all been experiencing restrictions and limitations on our personal freedoms and our lifestyles. And of course, this has affected us here in Spain, along with friends and families from around the world. And it's affected our church lives too in varying ways. Salt Church in Los Alcázares on the Costa Calida have been unable to meet face to face since early 2020. And they still continue to experience some of the toughest restrictions in Spain. Chris and I have been unable to visit loved ones and may sometimes have felt a bit restricted by our circumstances, and I certainly have felt at times almost like a prisoner here in Spain, unable to travel abroad and visit my family. The last time I saw my family was in February this year at my father's funeral. And in August this year we were prevented from travelling because of the quarantine rules in the UK, and we could not go to a very special family wedding. That was very upsetting. And of course, many people have many similar stories. And at Christmas time, of course, these restrictions and these limitations seem even harder, really, don't they, for us to bear, even sadder in some ways. Those on their own might feel even more alone. And when people can't see their children or their grandchildren or friends they haven't seen for a long time, it feels difficult. And Paul, when he was a prisoner because he preached Jesus Christ, he too will have experienced some enormous difficult times. The letters that he wrote from prison to Christian believers in the early church were the Ephesians, the Philippians, the Colossians, and of course the letter to Philemon. Now, he was either under house arrest at the time, which meant he was chained to a guard all the time, or he was incarcerated in some disgusting prison cell, whether that might have been underground. He would have been shackled with limited food and clothing, possibly with many other people, and absolutely no medical care whatsoever. In Ephesians chapter 4, Paul says, "As a prisoner for the Lord then, I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received." He's encouraging the believers in those churches that he is writing to be humble and patient, to love one another, to stay in unity with one another. And here he is in one of the most difficult situations, urging the believers who are free to meet together to live for Jesus in the best way they possibly could. Now, in our restricted circumstances, we might feel imprisoned at times. But I wonder, what message can we give to our family and friends through social media, through our phone calls, through letters, through our conversations with them? Perhaps we can be a source of encouragement to them as we come to the close of an exceedingly difficult year. Unlike Paul, of course, we can encourage our loved ones and ourselves from the comfort of our own homes, where we may be restricted and at times confined, but we are still free. Paul counted himself privileged and blessed to suffer in this way for Jesus, to experience this type of confinement. We too are blessed and very privileged. Let's encourage one another with these thoughts as we come to the close of 2020. God bless you